Okay, this is video number 6. Westside Consolidated School District School Guidelines for Managing Students with Food Allergies. This was something that was board approved and implemented last year, early in the year. Um, Very important students to understand that we do have students here who have certain allergies that could be life threatening if they are exposed to certain things. So, this is our food allergy um, responsibilities by the family, what your family's responsibility is, what the school's responsibility is. Um, and then we will also have your responsibility as a student. Um, Big key is you do not share things with other people because you may not understand they have this allergy, and they at the time may also not understand they have particular allergy. Um, no food on the buses. That will be talked about later, but that is part of the this food allergy policy. So I know we have the food available at the end of the school day, or at least we have in the past with Mr. Kelly, but that food needs to be either consumed or put up, left unopened until you get to wherever you're going once you get on that bus. So, students, if your bus driver writes you up for food, you will have a consequence for that. So, okay, moving on. This is our high school section, specifically to the high school. So this is just for here. This is what we will really lean heavily into. Our personnel, Mr. Graham again is a principal. I'm your assistant principal. Miss Tina Smith, that's administrative assistant or secretary in the high school office. Miss Tracy Wiseman, Miss Carol Little, Miss Julie Tubbs. They are in the offices down the new history hallway. Mr. Bowen is the athletic director and also transportation director. And Miss Pam Dooley, that's our curriculum director. And her office is right here next to mine. So these are going to have a lot of the same material as what the ASBA did, except for it will also have consequences. So it talks about our absences and attendance again. Students in grades 8 through 12 should not be absent in this in your 1, 2, and 3 block classes more than 5 times. Once your absence more than 5 times in those classes unexcused, then you will not receive credit. And then in the 4th and 5th block, again, once you hit 11 unexcused absences, that's where the problem comes in for no credit. And I know we've made every effort here to get those credits for you with Saturday school opportunities. Students, those are decided upon right before the end of each semester if it's going to be available or not. So please do not think that we have to offer this. We do not. It's something that fortunately we've been able to offer the last couple of years, but do not put all of your eggs in the basket of there's going to be Saturday school. Come to class when you're supposed to be there. This is the additional absences. Talks about things that can be excused. All right, tardies. A student tardy is tardy if he or she is not in their room or assigned seat when the tardy bell rings, per your classroom teacher rules. So different teachers may have different expectations for you. So some may say you have to be in your seat. Some may just say you have to be through the door frame. Whatever that particular teacher's rule is, that's what we'll go by. Tardies also start over at the beginning of each new semester. Your first tardy is going to be a verbal warning. Second tardy, there's going to be communication between your teacher and the parent. Third tardy comes to me with a referral. That'll be the 1-day detention. Fourth tardy, 3 days detention. fifth and more, we'll look at ISS and we'll look at more detention and up to a Finn's petition being filed and you going to court. So please understand that you've got to be in class on time. And again, here's the once a student's been tardy or absent for the first period class 6 or more times, you'll lose your driving privileges for the remainder of the semester. And true story, I actually had another school call and ask me about this specific policy this past week and how that works for us. And I told them it's been great. We've had 4 or 5 students a year that have their driving suspended for a certain amount of time or for the rest of the semester, and usually we can get y'all here on time like we should. So understand that this policy is something that other districts around the area are looking at as well. Closed campus, as we talked about, you cannot leave for any reason unless you check out correctly through the procedure laid out by somebody on your checkout list. We do not accept deliveries of any kind. Most of these consequences is an open range. Minimum consequence will be after school detention. Maximum will be out of school suspension. So a lot of this, like I said, the consequences will be left up to me to decide what we're going to do. But with having done this for so long, I have these things in my mind on what your consequences will be for certain actions, and that is consistent with the way I've always done it. So again, fair and consistent is what I'm going for in here. Detention, these are the different types of punishment here. Detention, Monday through Friday from 3:25 to 4:25. That is in Mr. Miller's classroom usually. Sometimes that changes. If it does, you'll be made aware of that. In-school suspension, again, will be with Miss Nadia Rice down in the ISS room. Those rules and expectations, she will let you know if you come see her. Success, that is our alternative learning environment. We have students who go there and meet certain criteria and goals, and they're allowed to come back. We have some students who do not meet those goals and they remain there. Then there's another set of students who we've had go over for various reasons, and they request to stay because they like that learning environment. So success, you hear that terminology, and a lot of people get bent out of shape about it, but it is a opportunity for learning and growth to happen, and then continue to work toward graduation. No disruptions at school. You can see this says CASBA policy. You would just go back to the top there, and we could figure out exactly what ASBA says about that. Student assault or battery, tobacco, again, minimum consequence of will be ISS. Maximum will be 10 days out of school suspension with a recommendation for expulsion. As you can see in this spot, previously I had 5 days. Now it's just going to say minimum consequence of ISS. I will tell you, though, I will be starting at 5 days. I don't know what the other campuses will do, but if you have a tobacco product or paraphernalia, it will be 5 days in school suspension minimum. Drugs and alcohol, ASBA policy, see that above, but the minimum consequence will be placement success and contact authorities. And then maximum consequence is 10 days out of school suspension with a recommendation for expulsion. So do not have this stuff on our campus, please. Computer use policy, you will need to read all of that, but range from verbal warnings up to loss of computer privileges. And then you could be expelled for some of the things that you may be doing on your computer.